What effect has my life brought in your life? And I want to videotape this because I'm a brain sufferer and someone that was just a horrible person. So this is only a minor look at what your life can be like. It can be so much better, but my life I think is great, so your lives could be great if not way better too. My nana took me from a foster home at 3 or 3.5, and I was put there because my mom was using drugs constantly. I was in a car and the cops were there at the parking lot where we were at and living in. They see me rumbling around this little kid when my mom was having sex for money in the car. So they took me to a foster home. My nana was looking for me, bless her heart, for probably over a year. She already had my 2 cousins because our other dad was a screw up too. My dad personally was in prison for 25 to life, so at that point, so I got with my nana, lived a pretty good normal life with her for a long time, just very, very happy. In the foster home, the foster parents were horrible, so I had 2 tubes put in my ears. Because of that, I had like 30 or 40% hearing in my left and 80 in my right. I can't say enough good things about my nana. She did everything correct, never used drugs, cleaned house for a living to provide for us. I played sports, I was a real good athlete. I did football, won World Series almost in baseball, was an all-star football player, did wrestling, state championships and everything, collegial and freestyle. So pretty much every sport I was good at. And then I'd say about junior high I started using drugs big time. Marijuana and drinking didn't affect me too bad, but at some point in my life, horribly, I started meth, and that's when things really started to go downhill for me. Started stealing, selling drugs, hurting people, and all those things are horrible, but at the time when you're doing them and the people you're running with, you think you're doing something good. Believe it or not, I look back on it now, that's why I'm laughing, because at no point in time is any of that stuff good ever. Anybody who's your real friend, even if they're using drugs, they will not use them with you. Because that's what a real friend does. That's just how they act. I choose to be a real friend now. To other people and to myself. And I did 7 prison terms altogether because of that stupid stuff. Before I found I'm just an idiot. 7 prison terms? Yeah, they were all for 1 or 2 years at the most, but still, you go in, go out. It's just horrible. And the last one that I got 15 years for didn't rob house. I got found for burglary, but the guy that said I robbed his house, I got in a dispute with him, beat him up, hurt him. So because his pride was hurt, he said I robbed his house, or whatever, to make himself feel better. They said, look, we'll just give you 5 years and you'll be done with us. And I thought in my mind, you didn't do this, don't take that crap. So I fought all the way and they ended up giving me 15 years. Still run my same old life. Bad people, bad drugs, doing all the wrong things. Fighting, hurting people if they didn't do stuff my way. And because of that, the Lord shined down on me. A lot of people won't think that what I went through is the Lord. But I know personally that all the good people I have in my life, and the Lord is responsible for what happened to me. We had a riot on the prison yard because this dude, and they seen me because I already had a bad reputation. I was the first one to get it, because I was just I'm laughing about it now, but shouldn't be. I was a horrible person. Not to black specifically, but to anybody that ruined my money game. Basically, he took my cane, knocked me straight out, and about 15 to 20 of them kicked me in the head and stabbed me everywhere for 24 minutes. So now, because of that, since 2015, I was told by the doctor I would never be able to walk or talk again. But basically, he came through again, and my perseverance and drive that he allowed me to have and gave to me came through again. Within 2 years, I was able to walk, sort of, and talk. When I got out of prison, I was in a wheelchair. After a few weeks or a few months, traded the wheelchair to a walker. And people like my friends here at this church, and just positive people I'm around now, thank God for that, are why. Because when I'm having a bad day or stuff ain't going the right way for me, personally, they're always there to remind me it's gonna get better and this is why. And just have a positive attitude, because you know who's up here looking down on you.
Brian himself has reminded me of my own past and my struggles of stuff that I've gone through and how far I've come. Brian, I see, has the same drive I believe that God inspires in those that have a mission, where your vessel has been given to God when upon wake up, that it is time to serve a higher purpose and calling in your life, and letting God use your vessel to share what's happened and how big his power is and how much he can do. It's super hard to tell by looking at us that, things are what they were, but Brian was sober, he had a job, he had a brain injury, and he believed in Jesus. And I was like, it took me a minute, because I'm very, I suffer from paranoia from the trauma. And so it took me a minute, but then, Brian was persistent too with our friendship. So and then coming to church, that's when there's a will and someone wants to strive to keep seeking God and realize that God is the one who is helping us all divine appointment or connection, like giving him all the props and the glory for what he's done for us to be here right now sharing pizza. You know what I mean?
You should be the first president last.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to know that, and to know Brian, and allowing, again, like Steve said, to slow down and remember how long it takes to recover, and the simple things that others take for granted, Yeah, so that's what Brian brings back in me, is how much maybe I do have to offer, how much I do have to give to others out there, and share like the love that God has filled me up with nothing. I came from the mud, nothing, and I found my way with employment and just everything. So yeah, that's what he does for me. Yeah, and yeah.
Before, I didn't care if I lived or died. My self-worth just was never that great. I mean, yeah, I only stayed alive around long enough to use drugs or have sex. But the way life is now, not only that I've been through brain injuries, but people, and they have to have this personal drive and personal self-worth.
Brian has given me the opportunity to remember patience, to remember to slow down. I've been through a lot of what he's been through. Knowing Brian has been a blessing. He's a good person. He's got a jaded past like me, checkered, shady, shifty. All that is in the past. He's not that guy anymore. He's a good person. He cares. He goes out of his way. He's still a jackass. But aren't we all? We all have our own little quirks and qualms, characteristic flaws. He gets past them. He encourages the people around him to do better. He pushes harder than most people ever will. But he does it with a large dose of grace.
You have to. If you don't, your life's gonna get crap before you think about it.
Yeah. So I'm glad that he came back to God. I'm glad that he's enriching the lives of the people that he comes in contact with. I don't think he realizes how much he affects the people around him from time to time. But he pulls through it, and he's always got something constructive and positive to gain as well as to give.
That's why I do it.
He makes us all better. I appreciate you for that, brother.
You're my brother. My brother in town. So to everybody out there watching, you have to love yourself and want it for yourself. For not only people like me to help you, but for others to be on your side and want to help you too. If you want it to get better, it's always going to get better with a couple things. One, your personal resilience, and then two, your loving God and Savior Jesus Christ.